Hey guys, it's Miguel here. I literally just finished up filming another video, but since I was here at the place where I pretty much spent my 8 months of the worst, my worst crash of being bedridden, I figured I'd make a video about something that relates to something like this, where you're trapped in a small space for a long period of time and essentially your world goes from this big vast thing with many people in it, many activities, a large area to this very small little area, small world, small group of people. For me, that was pretty difficult. Most people don't understand what it's like to have your world completely shrink. Just to give you an idea, I was personal training when I got really sick. So I'd been struggling on and off with CFS for about four years. I first got sick when I was 19, and I would get very sick, then I would get better, I'd get very sick, I'd get better. So it was like 8 months on, 8 months off. But when I got very sick, leading up to that, I was working about 12 hours a day, 4 days a week, personal training, a very physically demanding job. And on my days off, I was going out with friends. I wasn't partying, I wasn't drinking or doing drugs or anything like that, but I wasn't giving my body the rest it required and it deserved, and I wasn't eating properly at all, and my job was quite stressful. I was always gunning for that number one spot, the number one personal training spot, which I did achieve. I paid the price for it. So my world before I got sick, it was having a very large group of friends, being with people 12 hours a day, 12 different people for an hour at a time, 12 hours a day. So constant talking with people, communicating, sharing stories with people. I went from that to being in a room all alone by myself almost 24/7. The only time I really talked to people were when my grandma or grandpa brought me food, or my dad visited a couple times a week, or when my girlfriend visited, which was a huge help. That was definitely a huge help for me, my girlfriend visiting. My communication and connection with people went from like up here all the way down here, and it was very different world than I was used to. And I was moving constantly in personal training, and then to go from that to being completely bedridden, it's almost like you feel claustrophobic. But when you get claustrophobic, usually you can get out of that space. Say you're on an airplane or an elevator, or a very tight confined space. Well, with this, you're literally claustrophobic in your own body, and your world is literally so small. You feel like you're getting crushed by reality. Everything's just caving in on you. Your world gets smaller and smaller, everything's shrinking. You're losing all these things you worked so hard for. So all my clients, I had to give them away. I had just gotten my dream car at the time. I couldn't drive that. I would actually, when I had the strength to sit up out of bed, I would look out the window and see that dream car just sitting there. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I would give anything, all the money in my bank account, all my achievements I've ever earned, even that car, I would get rid of that thing if I could just walk again and feel normal and be healthy. So, when your world does become that small, it really hits you. It really makes you think of what's really important to you. And the thing that's important is the people. As long as you have people around and, some good nutrition, you have water, a bed, roof over your head, those are the essentials that you need. And you realize that you don't need all this other fancy stuff, all this other stimulus and activities to be happy. You learn to appreciate what you have around you. Of course, there's an adjustment period where you're very upset about the whole thing, losing pretty much everything you worked for. But you build a much stronger connection with people closest to you than you would have otherwise built. And so the way I described it, how I felt was, think about wearing like a diver's suit. Those suits where it's like a full body one-piece suit, it's like skin tight. You can't fit anything in it, it's just hugging against your skin. That's almost how you feel when you're super sick, when you're in a crash or in a setback. You feel like life is restricting you, and you feel claustrophobic by life, which is crazy because you can't escape it. There have been times when literally my world was my bed, not even the room, not even like the door. I couldn't even get to the door. My world was literally my bed. So you learn the distinction between actually two worlds. One is the physical world, right? That's physical things. The bed, the pillows, the wall, the notepad that you journal on, the pen, the pencil, the water you're drinking, the food that you're eating. And then there's another world that's actually a more powerful world where if you master that, that's actually the root of your problem, which is the other world is inside your mind. And for me, it was very, very spiritual. And I can make a whole another series of videos about the spiritual experiences that I've had. Just comment down below if you want me to expand on those. They get pretty crazy. But there's two worlds, physical world and psychological world. And I like to call it the spiritual world because it felt very real when you go into that different space. You know, you learn to be comfortable with your own mind, and it takes months, if not years. For me, it took me years to be comfortable in my own mind. And those 8 months of being completely bedridden in that room, right up there, where I remember it like it was yesterday, you learn to become your best friend and your biggest ally and your biggest supporter in the good times, in the bad times, dark times. You know, an illness like this really forces you to look within and find out who you really are. So when your world becomes small, I almost see it as like you know, the body is so smart. Not even the body, the spirit is so smart. The way the universe works is so smart. It's like you spend so much time chasing all these goals, doing all this stuff. You type A personality, go, go, go. We never have time to look inwards and find out who we really are. We're so busy chasing all these things that we think we should be chasing or think we should be doing. We end up burning ourselves out, but it's almost like our body and our spirit knows that. And it says, nope, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, you're not doing this, not doing this. And before you know it, you're caged in, and the only place to run is within. And it forces you to learn more about yourself. So I just want to talk about that today is, you know, how the world gets so much smaller when you get sick. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's leading to that moment of you being at peace with yourself, you being able to not stress over all the things you normally stress about, you learning how your mind works. And if you watch my other video up here where I talk about the science behind my recovery, there are so many exercises that I did that I found so helpful. And even to this day, it's such a game changer for me, because now I sleep better than I ever have in my whole life. I've always had insomnia until I got better and recovered. My mindset is so much better. I don't stress as much. I can handle way more things and actually not get that stressed out about it, because now I see everything as like a bonus. Like my life right now is a bonus. Like I've pretty much been granted a second chance at life. So when I did recover, I felt like reborn. So that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. If you did get some value out of this content, just hit the like button or comment down below what other kind of videos you want to see me make. I love making these videos knowing that it helps some people out. There have been a couple of people who actually reached out to me, and we've been chatting over the last two and a half years. Actually, one person in particular, it made full recoveries. A couple other people, they're still recovering right now. But if I got better, I'm just hoping I can take that experience and give you guys, you know, insights that might help you guys recover. So if you do want me to talk about any kind of spiritual experiences that I had when I was sick, comment down below. Those will be some pretty crazy videos, pretty crazy stories. I mean, you'll see eventually when I do make that video. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Hang in there, stay strong. You could do it. One day you're going to be watching this video back or just thinking to yourself, man, I made it through all of that. And everything's just going to feel like a bad dream. So I hope you have a great day.